Okay, so I saw on Twitter and I saw everywhere else, well, number 45 wanted to send extra support for the crime that's going on in Chicago, Illinois. Now, what I don't advocate is us killing one another, especially children. You're still in their dreams, you're still in their future, and none of us has the authority to take anybody's life. But here is my thing, and as much as you all say that you're doing the best that you can, I hear you. But here is the question, and I was talking about this today too as well. Um, so when Jesse Smollett, remember that big thing about Jesse Smollett, was supposed to done a hate crime against himself, there was a big stink about it, right? And all this effort was put into him to find out that it was assumed that he committed the crime against himself. Then you all spent all this money to go out of the state to find two guys who were supposed to have been a part of this plot and this scheme. Now, I know this stuff has subsided. Everybody was riding the state's attorney, and the police board was all up in the uproar about this because they got up and made videos that they shouldn't have made. And then the superintendent at the time of the police ended up getting caught in his own stuff. So, but you had the resources. You used the cameras and you created a task force to find that you all stated wasn't factual, that he committed this crime against himself. But we can't find who's doing the shooting. We don't know who's killing kids. We don't know who's doing drive-bys. We don't know who's shooting in the crowd. It doesn't make sense to me. So you can find for this set of nonsense, and you spent all this money for this foolishness and the stuff that you should have been checking into. You can't come up with no solutions of what's going on or how it's happening. Why should a child be in their house and a bullet come through the window? I'm not understanding. And I'm not putting all the ownership on the police department, the mayor, and the governor. I'm not. Because we as parents, the men, uh, are just as much as responsible. But what I'm saying is we report this over and over and over. A 10-year-old, 11-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old was killed by a bullet. But yet you all have no answers. You got all these cameras across the city, all these cameras, but you can't catch nothing with the cameras. Do they not work? What is the problem that we can't resolve these issues? What is it? Because they work for the Jesse Smollett. Now all of a sudden the cameras have shut down. You can't find the answers. Or is it that you don't want to find the answers? What is that? And I know some people live in fear. They don't want to talk and they don't want to tell. But this needs to cease because we're not hurting nobody's neighborhood but our own. And they want us to kill each other. What I'm not understanding, you don't own land. Hell, people who own houses don't own the land. You're still paying taxes and a mortgage. Come on, people, wake up. Think about this. Think about it. But as leaders, then stay off the news. Stop responding to stuff until you all get your act together. Seriously. Because if the cameras can work for that minor stuff, it should work for the major stuff. It should. There should be no excuses why you can't catch nothing. You all can catch nothing. Then, if you would break up the crowds and if you would institute curfew like you should, maybe 9 o'clock is too late. Maybe we need to go up to 8 o'clock for curfew or even 7. If you see things keep progressing, then change the rules to make it much better. Then some of these park lights need to stay on because you know what they do? Darkness bring about evil things to happen. And some of these solutions are so simple. They're so simple. And I remember there was a commander in the 11th district, and I think he lost his stripes. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that he ended up with some time or not, or it was made to think that he was going to get some time. But I'm telling you, he cleaned up that area very well. We got too many abandoned buildings. You let too many investors come in here and purchase property and don't do nothing with that property. It's an area that criminal activity can take place. See, some things we can change. You need to check on some of these. I heard on the radio the young lady say some of these stores are not the stores you think they are. But do you check into this stuff? You don't. I've actually been driving down the street and I've seen some people that should have been pulled over and they were not. But you'll put over the regular Joe Smo and get them a ticket. But the ones that's actually suspect and look suspicious, you'll pass them by. You won't break up no crowd. You won't disperse. We supposed to have curfew. I don't see curfew being enforced. I don't. So why the cameras don't work? Because this is becoming too much. People deserve to live. They deserve to live. They really do. And this shooting, people are fearful. They don't want to come out. Our elderly don't want to come out. Come on. What's going on here? This is ridiculous. Stop talking to the same people. They're not giving you great answers. Maybe you need to do a different approach. Maybe you need to look at things differently. But the killing has got to stop. And every household that has a kid in it that you know they're not doing right, you need to step up to the plate, just like that mother turned that child in who did the shooting with the other shooting. It needs to happen. We need to come back as a village. And this is the only way we're going to change some things. The only way. But it has to stop. It's too much bloodshed. It's too much over foolishness. It don't even make sense. It don't. All right. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Criticism. Um, Share. Let me know your thoughts. Talk to you later.